Everything for NC.
One will wonder what is really going on in this video. This is happening now in Oyo State. They are arresting Yoruba teenagers and who have chosen to be street beggars and aboros rather than going to school. Some persons have condemned this act. They say that the act of arresting these boys, these young teenagers, are barbaric. That the government should provide what these young teenagers will do, or provide for their parents to send them to school and not arresting them. That arresting these people is not the best solution. Also, Peter Obi has come up to blast the government. In fact, he reacted over the calling from the Borno State Speaker that the life of Kashim Shettima is in danger. But before I drop that call from Peter Obi on Kashim Shettima condemning the act of buying another new aircraft for Kashim Shettima, let me quickly show you this video where the Northerners, this is coming from a Northern governor, who said that the North supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the 2023 presidential election in making him to become the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. That how can the North now turn against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Why I invited you, Governor Sule. Why does it look like you and your friends and your colleagues yesterday, the leaders of the North, were against Bola Tinubu's policy? Is there an explanation for it? Because that is what a lot of people took to town yesterday. But from what I read differently. But explain to us what exactly was it, especially, let's begin with the taxation. How did you arrive at that decision?
Okay. Well, you see, when things go to the media, you have no control over. The issue is that when we came into this meeting, the issue of this taxation of the VAT was even the last item to be discussed. We came in and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, came and took almost an hour briefing us, and then we would discuss about what the northern governors need to do to tackle issue of security in the northern part of the country. And in fact, we now invited another group called the Northern a group that came in of former generals and things like that, that came again and briefed us on the security situation in the North. You know, after that, we went into several other issues. For instance, we had Professor Jega that came in and took over an hour briefing us about the wonderful initiative of Mr. President, you know, which is the livestock project. And we discussed it, and we discussed where to go. In fact, we took some time to even look at the NLTP that was started by the former administration, you know, where we said, let us not throw the baby and the bathwater together. And we're looking at that one. So after taking all that, you see, we took time to discuss with the traditional rulers about one of the biggest problems in the North, the Almajiri system that we have. And then we even gave examples, you know, about what some other states have done, the steps they have taken, you know, given by the Sultan, and advising all the states, you know, to go and do exactly what like Gombe and Zamfara has done concerning the issue of the Almajiri. So the last one that we even took, after discussing all these various issues on mining, on agriculture, on this, was this issue of the item. But you see, when the news came, like you are saying, why are the governors of the North against President Tinubu? We cannot bring President Tinubu as a president. And the North came in very heavily in making sure President Tinubu becomes president and turn around again and be against him. In fact, we started by commending him on so many initiatives that he has taken, including this same initiative of the livestock. And we commended him by selecting somebody like Professor Jega, who will come in. So we started by so many commendations of the president. But you know, it's not just APC that were there at the Northern Nigerian Governors Forum. You know, the forum is made up of people from APC, from PDP, from all the other parties. And then there were people who had no parties, the traditional rulers. You know, that we sat down and took the decision together that looking at this law is going to be unfair to the North. By the time you said you are going to take VAT out of the sharing of the FAC, and then now say that it is going to be shared similar to something like, because that's the understanding we have based on the proposal. You know, it's going to be another 13% derivation. So whatever state that is generating more of the VAT is the state that is going to, so exactly similar to this derivation that you have. So the states that have almost no VAT at the moment will end up actually with the shorter end of the state. And you know the 19 states of the North are generating very little when it comes to VAT at the moment. And it is very clear. I work for some of these multinationals. I know how VAT are paid. When we were importing raw materials as Dangote, at the Apapa port, we paid VAT first. Then, the finished product, you have another VAT added to it, you know, which the customer is paying. Most of these institutions are paying their VAT from their headquarters. And I give you an example. Coca-Cola. As at the time I was managing director of Dangote Sugar, Coca-Cola had 11 plants. About 50% of the plants are here in the northern part of the country. About 50% are in the southern part of the country. So all the operations that are carried out in all these places, as long as VAT is concerned, is paid at the headquarters, the corporate headquarters total, which is going to be in Lagos. Let me take the North out of it. Take Ibeshe, for instance. Ibeshe Cement is in Ogun State. The main operations is in Ogun, but the headquarters of the Dangote is in Lagos. So because of that, the VAT is actually paid in Lagos. So we're saying the moment you do that, you take it out, you know, and just do not leave it the way it is. Some others.
All right, guys, that was coming from the governor of Nasarawa State, Sule. Governor Sule of Nasarawa State has stated it on the speculations that the North is against the president. He maintained that we cannot bring President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a president. The North came in heavily to make sure President Tinubu, the president, and then turn around to be against him. Meanwhile, remember that there are news flying out in the social media that the northern Nigerians are now against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially for days now. The northern Nigerians have not gotten power supply. Meanwhile, Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party have come up to condemn the act of the Borno State Speaker House of Rep and calling for a new aircraft for the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Peter Obi, who took to his handle and wrote, "I just read a disturbing comment in the media space attributed to one of the supposed political leaders in the country that the life of the Vice President is in danger because of the faults recorded in his official aircraft." The leader went further to urge the federal government to purchase a new aircraft for the Vice President. In making such a remark now, the speaker is insensitive and obviously unconcerned about the prevailing economic situation in the country. That Nigerians are facing untold hardship at this moment is no secret. Such a provoking call is coming from a person who probably is oblivious of the fact that Nigeria, as present, has continued to manifest every threat of a failed state. Peter Obi, who maintained that today, among one of the 11 worst governed African nations in the last 10 years, we are also among 20 most hungry nations in the world. with our people facing worsening mass poverty, extreme hunger and starvation. Our nation remains the poverty capital of the world, with our per capita income crashing further from $17,700 in 2023 to $1,109 this year. Are these not the issues that should be prioritized by committed leaders? Our national electricity grid has so far collapsed 8 times this year alone and 105 times in the last 10 years, plunging our small business into great losses and households into darkness. In the past 15 months, several businesses have collapsed down or become distressed due to the harsh economic environment in this country. Are these not the issues that should preoccupy us as leaders, rather than being consumed by our selfish desires for needless luxury at the expense of the people we are called to serve? What does Nigerian Vice President need a new jet for? And what value are all presidential and vice presidential trips adding to our present situation? It was not until 2014 that Indonesia, with sustainable economic growth of over 6% annually for the past 10 years, adding about 50% to both her GDP and GDP per capita, decided to buy a presidential jet used by both the president and vice president. The vice president travels mostly in the country's national airline, Garuda Indonesia, and since we have recently undeservedly bought one, it should be used on essential, inevitable trips of the president and the vice president. Guys, this is coming from Peter Obi. Let's hear your view on the comment section. Remember, if this is your first time of watching our channel, please feel free to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share our videos. Please don't forget to turn on the notification bell in order to be getting our updates. We'll see you again in our subsequent bulletin. Thumbs up, everyone.